Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood.
I think we'll all agree that was incredibly detailed and long-winded 17 adverts in a row there as part of our station's new ad formatting. You return, you may have forgotten where you were, what you were doing in the first place, but you're here with us on Good Morning Driftwood with me, Penelope, and my co-host Dirk and Bench.
Ahoy!
Yep, all three of us are here. You may
Nice shipper ahoy from Bench.
It was pretty chipper, yeah. That did take the advertising here has gone a little bit insane. There's just so many, and as Matthias keeps telling us, our producer keeps telling us, gotta pay the bills somehow.
True.
Gotta pay the bills. And if
So I was talking about the bills.
The bills.
I thought we owned this facility. I thought we owned the studio space. I didn't realize how many bills there are to pay.
Even when you own the thing, yeah, oh gosh, yeah. Like you're still paying for electricity,
Water.
gas,
Go on.
Solid.
Liquid.
I covered that with water, didn't we?
Yeah.
Air.
Probably.
Air conditioning,
Noise.
equipment to do radio hosting, yes.
Light pollution. You probably have to pay for that.
We're paying to have light pollution?
We pay
The light
we pay
pollution
for
that
light pollution, yeah.
because we turn on lights, they bleed
And
out
that
into the universe.
Polluting
True.
the dark.
That pisses people off, so we got to pay for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's true.
No such thing as a free lunch bench.
you
want
were
some-
the one confused
You want
about
to turn
taxes.
some lights on. You're gonna have to pay for that privilege.
You had such a quick turnaround on not understanding why we have to pay bills to being very adamant that we have to.
You don't really need to convince Dirk very much on things. He's
true.
Malleable.
Malleable.
I hear
Yeah.
about something that I'm unaware of, and I immediately lock in on that thing and need to be the expert for that thing.
True.
Well, actually, now that you say that, that leads quite nicely on. I have discovered on the National Geographic Kids website.
Are you on that website often?
Yeah.
It's actually a real good treasure trove of educational things. Now I know that they are not, they're not a business that's like owned by our parent company or anything like that. It is technically a rival. However, I did find a bunch of real fun personality quizzes that I thought, Dirk, you might wanna do.
Happy to.
The
But
one
the fact that it's our rival National Geographic Kids.
yeah.
I take issue with the fact that we're giving our rival, which again is National Geographic
Okay, then.
Kids.
Okay then.
I feel like I
Guess-
take issue with the fact that we're giving them any publicity whatsoever because
Yes.
National Geographic Kids can go to hell.
Well, guess you're not going to find out which famous prank you would pull.
Oh, that sounds fun,
Oh God.
though. You should
Damn
try
it.
it.
They're our
You
nemesis,
wanna know?
but God
Yeah.
damn are they good at content.
Again, so malleable, so quick to change his mind.
So
Love
quick.
that.
Question. There's 7 questions here. Have you ever pulled a prank on someone? Your options are, yeah, a few times. I mean, I might be planning something now. I'm a prank champ. Seems like a lot of work. Or April Fool's Day is my favorite day of the year.
A lot of those are
Yeah,
really
they're
similar
very
and
close together.
yeah, super similar. It's just how would you phrase the fact that you're really good at pranks?
Yeah.
One of which was April 1st is my favorite day of the year. One of which I'm the prank champion. One of which is like I'm really good at that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different. I guess we're just different types of pranksters.
Yeah.
I think the one that I gravitated towards was I'm a prank champion
I'm a prank
because
champ.
I'm a champion of most things.
It's true.
I believe.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how easy would it be to prank you? 1 being super easy, 5 being no one ever has, no one ever will.
5. No one has ever pranked me in my entire existence.
Who would
we
you...
tried many times,
so many
never
times,
worked.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Who would you most want to pull off a prank with? My entire friend group. The more help I have, the better the prank is. My pranks are top secret, so shh. My sibling. We have the same sense of humor. Just a few close friends. Or my BFF. We're always coming up with something to pull.
Okay, now
Is there
let's
a write-in
unpack.
possibility?
Let's unpack some of those.
Yeah.
Bishop Desmond Tutu is my preferred prank
Bishop
victim.
Dude. Oh, no, this is who you'd want to pull off a prank with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this isn't so like you can leave Bishop Desmond Tutu.
Whoever the Pope is
fair,
at the time.
Right now?
Yeah, there's a new Pope, so now he is my preferred prank partner.
I'm going to put that
Pope.
as my...
The Pope.
I'm going to answer that as my BFF there. That
Same thing.
What's
basically ascending into the papal position.
Yeah.
Is the
Love the
Pope
word
your
papal.
BFF?
Always.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You ascend into the position of Pope. At the same time, you ascend into position as my BFF.
And you've never met the Pope.
Not the new one yet.
Sorry,
Okay.
I feel
But
like
I did call him. The first thing that happens once that white smoke goes up is the conclave calls me.
Yeah.
And they say, Dirk, we've got a new Pope. We'd like to introduce you to, and then whoever the Pope happens to be.
that.
So we did have a nice talk.
Because everyone else, they're like, we have lit some white smoke to let everyone know what's happening. But they phone you.
They know I'm not going to see the smoke.
You're not going to be watching.
I can't be
You're a
looking
busy
at the sky.
man.
Yeah.
No.
Also, the light pollution makes it impossible to see that
So
smoke.
difficult.
Also,
What's your favorite subject in school? Foreign language, science, math, English, or history?
I think that's maybe the toughest one so far.
I'm going to say English and history. Because
You're
English,
allowed
because
one.
I'm an orator.
English
And
or
history, because... Oh, those you have to pick one?
Yeah, it wasn't English and history, one or the other.
The way
So
you
it's not
said that.
math. We know it's not math.
Definitely not. It's not foreign language. And it's not science.
I like I'm going to go with science because I really like animal facts, and my new friend and roommate, Justice the Falcon,
Good point.
he's opening my mind to a lot of scientific realms.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's tricky. What's your favorite season? I couldn't possibly choose. Summer.
What if
for
the answer
sure.
is I couldn't possibly choose
Winter
for
because
indecisive
no.
children?
Spring, or I love the fall / autumn, if that's not what you call it.
The last one is really sweet. The last one is just a kid going, I love the fall. I'm going to go with summer.
Summer.
Everyone's out. Everyone's hitting up the beach. They're super active. They're bing bong bang bong. They're doing all their fun
Bing
stuff.
bong.
They're
Bing
bing
bong.
bong, bing
Yeah,
bong.
everyone's strutting down the street.
I
Bing
love-
bong bong.
I love going
That's
to the
how-
beach to bing bong, bing bong.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Doesn't it feel very bing bong bong when you're walking down the street in the summer?
I gotta say, I preferred it when you did finger guns as you said it.
Bing bong bing bong.
There we go.
I like when you strut down the street and then you bing bong, bing bong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see someone else and they're strutting in the opposite direction.
Okay.
And they give each other a like bing bong bing bong bong.
This one's tricky. Choose a color, but there's only 5 options. Okay, so there's blue, black, red, pink, or silver.
Wild color choices, National Geographic Kids. Wild color choices. Obviously silver.
Obviously,
Because it is
Obviously.
because it is the
the
only one that
metal.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the only one that alludes to superiority of some kind.
even though
it's
famously
second.
it's second place.
Yeah, but there's no gold there, was there?
Ooh. What do you want to do when you're older? Something on a global scale, like journalism or politics.
Mhm.
Be famous. I'd love to work with animals. Run a company or a country. Or I'd like to invent something.
I want to do all of those
You've already
things.
done some of those.
I want to do all of those things.
Like journalism, be
You-
famous. You do work with animals. You did run an orphanage off a boat.
Mhm.
A lot of these are already in your rear view.
Yeah.
Some
I'm very
argue
accomplished.
You
You-
are.
Thank you, Bench.
some argue you invented mutiny apologizing. Like apologizing.
Elaborate on that.
Like if
Yeah, who
like,
would argue that?
someone threw a mutiny and you're very much an apologist for it, where you're just like, I mean, it's just like some kids just taking over a boat, you know?
I
Like
would frame it as just it's justified what they did, and good. Initially I was alarmed at the news, but once it was explained to me by little Jeffrey Danvers, the orphan child who led the mutiny,
Yeah.
it made sense.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I am malleable, Bench. Not
That's not
realizing
bad.
this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Some might say I just am flexible and I adapt my thinking to new information.
Some.
Sorry, what was the question again?
What do you want to do when you're older? Something on a global scale.
Right.
Be famous.
Is karate an answer?
Karate is not an answer.
Mm.
I'd love to work with animals, run a company or a country. I'd like to invent something.
I'd like to work with animals.
I'd love to work with animals.
You could do karate on a global scale.
Oh, okay. So your prank,
What prank am I gonna do?
you tried to pass off brown bears as giant pandas. Let me explain.
That's a bad prank. I'm just gonna National Geographic
Let me
Kids.
explain.
Although
There's
I'm
a
gonna
history to this. I have a whole. Let me explain. On April 1st, 2009, an article in Taiwan's Taipei Times newspaper declared that a pair of giant pandas given to the local zoo from China were actually brown bears in disguise. Most readers figured out the article was, of course, an April Fool's Day prank. Your pranking style is also low key. Your friends have definitely described you as chill before.
That's
Wait.
true.
In addition,
People
That's
have definitely described me as
But
chill.
the prank is the other way around. The prank is they were pandas and they were lying about them being... keep going.
in addition to being a pretty mellow person, you're also super smart. Even though you might
Hey.
mastermind an easy to plan prank like this one, you'd never fall for it yourself.
Nope.
And
No, I
there's
would not.
a really fun little picture of two brown bears with panda masks on. You think he notices?
But also,
That's adorable.
the way you describe it is no one fell for that prank. They describe it as a really bad idea for a prank and a bad execution. Also, it's not a prank, it's just a lie.
That's
Again,
true.
Taking brown bears and painting them to be look like pandas is animal abuse, A, and B, a prank.
I don't think they actually
They didn't paint
painted
them.
anyone.
They just
No, they-
wrote about it.
Exactly.
They
just
painted
lied.
it with words.
That's not a prank. That's a lie.
Wait, hold on.
Painted with words.
Painted
that
with
was
words.
beautiful.
And you're
That's
saying that's a
gorgeous.
lie?
Yeah.
Every book is a lie to you?
No.
Every piece of fiction is just a big lie to you?
Sure, then it's fiction.
Is a painted word lie?
I mean, in a way, yeah. Fiction didn't happen.
So, like, the Da Vinci Code is fiction and a lie?
Yeah.
It's a lie? The book, the Da Vinci Code is a
this
lie.
news to you?
No,
So
but
you-
like this seems
But you're-
like
so
you're
you're saying, Bench,
that
you're
books
saying
are
most-
lies.
And pranks. You're saying most books, fiction is pranks.
Yeah, that's
is
what you're saying.
You're saying the
No.
the genre, any fiction-based literary genre is a prank.
No, there are two things happening here. There are two tracks. One of them is fiction is lies. The other one is prank are more than lies. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
they
so
just
you're
wrote an
saying
article
books-
that's not enough
He's
to qualify
trying-
for a
he's trying
prank.
to confuse
He's
us.
trying to confuse us,
He's trying to
and he
obfuscate
just
us.
won't.
I'm really not.
He just won't admit that he thinks all books are lies.
No, I
Are
did
prank
admit
lies.
that. Fiction books are lies. Pranks involve an element of lie, but they need to have something
Okay,
like...
fiction books are lies. That's crazy to me, Bench. That you don't that you're just. Every book to you, you've read it and been like, this is lies, instead of like, oh, this is a magical journey this book's taken me on.
Or maybe it's a story that speaks to a greater truth.
Yeah.
I can...
Maybe only
Both-
through imagination.
Both can be true. I can be
Okay,
like,
you know
I
what? I'm
understand
just
this,
gonna
and
move
also
on
it's
to
a
this
bunch of
because
lies.
sometimes you frame something and sometimes it doesn't go past. Discover which historical ruler you're like.
Ooh.
Okay, you have a
Myself,
super.
historically speaking, I'm a ruler of my domain.
Okay,
Am
there's,
I on the National
Can I-
Geographic Kids list?
can I give you 6 options instead?
Sure.
Okay. You have a super busy weekend planned. How does that make you feel? A little overwhelmed? It's fine. I prefer to stay busy. Excited. I can't wait to see my friends. Okay, but I'd rather be reading a book. Or I'll probably skip
Nice.
1 or 2 things, but I'm looking forward to the others.
Excited. Get me in there. Bing
Get
bong bong,
you-
bing bong.
In there. Can't
Especially
wait
a
to see your
summer
friends.
weekend.
Okay.
Yep. summer weekend, I'm bing bang bonging all over.
Which fashion statement are you most likely to make?
Stop.
I'm a fan of funny
That's my
That's a
fashion
statement.
statement.
Stop.
Mhm.
Oh, so fashion's not really my thing? Could be the answer. Or it's all about the sneakers for me. I'll never wear anything gold. I love wearing layers. Or I'm a fan of funny t-shirts.
We go over the options one more time.
What? This
Okay.
is so confusing.
I'm a fan of funny t-shirts. I love wearing layers. I'll wear anything gold. It's all about the sneakers for me. Fashion's not really my thing.
You do like gold.
I'll wear anything gold.
You
Yeah.
will wear anything gold.
Number one.
Which
Painted gold.
animal?
It being me.
Oh God,
Go on.
this one's gonna be tricky because I know what the
Big
answer
bang
is
bong.
and I don't
Big
have
bang
it. Which animal BFF would you most like to have?
I already have
Yeah.
one. His name is Justice the Falcon, and he's my roommate and best friend.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a colorful
friend?
bird.
We've gotten very close since the last time we
Does
talked.
the Pope know?
Okay.
The Pope is my best friend, human division.
Where are we on that list?
Best friend colleague division.
Oh, okay.
Penny gets it.
Yeah.
Penny has a straight line into my brain.
Choose a city to visit: Washington, D.C., Cairo, Egypt, London, England, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, or I prefer the countryside. You ain't going to no city.
Which countryside? Which country's side?
No, which side
That's
of
a good
the country?
point. Are you going to like the east of a continent in particular? Like, you're going to the east of Africa? That's
Or
the
are you
side
going
of the
to
country.
the south of Africa? That's a different side of the country.
You know, normally
country.
I would say a city, but
Is that a side or is that top and bottom? This is something we should really dig into at some point,
our
but not
side's
right
just
now.
top and bottom. Are you sure not right now? We
But-
could do 5 minutes on that.
Like, I feel
but
like,
side that's only relative. You know, if you're
yeah.
facing east or west, then your sides would be the north and south.
Good point.
Which
Top and bottom does
geographically
always
is
move.
yeah. It's just about polar ice caps.
Yeah.
Longitude,
Washington,
latitude.
D.C.,
I think that's
Cairo,
about as much as we
Egypt,
can get out of
London,
that. Yeah.
Sure.
England, Dubai, United
I'm gonna
Emirates.
say I would say normally I would go to in the past I might have said like, you know, a high flying city. I'm gonna say the countryside.
A high flying city?
Yeah.
Like Cloud City in Star Wars?
Ideally.
Okay.
Every leader needs good
Coruscant,
advice.
is that what it's called?
Coruscant is a different city. That's where the whole planet is a city. Okay, let's move on.
Every leader
I was
needs.
just picturing myself there having a great time.
You
You'd
would,
love it.
because it's quite
Yeah.
it's quite an affluent city.
It's true.
It's quite an affluent city / planet.
It's one of those ones where like the upper floors are like rich people and the lower floors are
Oh,
Or
you
where
mean
it's, like,
the Downton
gritty.
Abbey theory?
the Downton Abbey theory of Star Wars.
All of Coruscant has
Please.
a Downton Abbey situation.
Upper
Yeah.
floors,
Please go on, Penny.
wealthy. Lower floors, usually those who work within the Downton Abbey. So you can just like take that as a theory, and you can just put it on.
Apply it to Coruscant and Star Wars.
Was it the I know you haven't spoken to him much, but was it the new Pope who also said that the Downton Abbey theory applies to like heaven and hell? It was a similar. It's better up
Yeah.
top, and then the people who are doing worst are
Yeah.
down below.
And that's the wording he used.
Yeah.
It's better up top.
It's better up top.
But he said it in Latin.
Yeah.
But in a Chicago accent.
Yeah. It's good to be king.
Yep.
Yep. It's good to be Pope.
It's good
Okay.
to be Pope.
Every leader needs good advice. Who would you trust
Countryside
if you
was
were
my
in charge?
answer
Yep.
for that.
I've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm past it.
Well, I was sorry. Normally, I would go to a city like that and then say Coruscant. But nowadays, because of justice opening my eyes to nature, I'm going to go with countryside. Go on.
Okay, every leader needs good advice. Who would you trust if you were in charge? I would have a whole
The
team of
Pope.
experts.
Go on.
I would ask my second in command to weigh in on stuff. I would listen to everyone, but think about my decision for a few days. I'm usually the one giving advice. I don't need advice. Once my mind's made up, I make a move.
You guys want to answer that one? I feel like you guys know which one
I
it's going
think
to be.
you don't need advice, and you
You
would make your
said-
mind up and then
Bing,
make a
bang,
move.
bong.
You
Correct.
said the word advice so many times that I got very disoriented.
That happened where you hear one word a lot and it just sort of short circuits your brain
Yep.
and you just
Especially-
hear sounds.
Isn't that the Mandela effect? It's like something you've literally never heard before, and then you just hear it loads of times. Like it's the first time you heard the word advice, and now you
Is
just
that the
heard
Mandela
it.
effect?
Yeah.
Like that's an entirely new concept and I've never heard that combination of sounds before.
Interesting.
What are your public speaking skills like? I can write
Well-
and give a good speech. If someone helps me write it, I can deliver a great speech. I don't love speaking in front of a crowd, but I'm actually pretty awesome at it. I'm a better writer than speaker, to be honest. Or I'm okay, but I'd rather be doing more exciting things.
Is I crush
Yeah.
an answer?
What's the best one of those? What's the gold
the first
version
one,
of that?
First
the
one.
first one seemed the closest, but I crush.
Okay, here we go. Choose a mode. Is this the last one? Yeah, last question. Choose a mode of travel. Train, horse, fancy car, boat, or plane.
Now that's difficult because boat is big. However, it wasn't car. It was specifically fancy car.
It was fancy car.
And also, I look great on a horse, you guys.
You do.
I look so majestic on a horse. And now I have a falcon.
But don't discredit how like fancy you look on a train. Like you are a fancy train man.
That also, when you are seated in a train, gazing longingly out a train window at the countryside flying by.
Yeah.
Countryside.
It's just the countryside. And then I see myself out in the countryside, right? Like in visual.
In visual.
In visual.
You see yourself in visual.
Yeah, I'm envisioning myself and I see myself out in the countryside, which as we established is also the place that I like. I saw an advertisement that was David
Oh,
Tennant.
It's Dirk's tangent time.
It was David Tennant walking in, I believe, the Highlands, and he was like exploring, and he was having a great time outdoors, and it was real rugged.
Are
And
you
there
sure this was an
voiceover.
advertisement and you weren't just like in the Highlands just watching David Tennant walk?
When would he have
Sometimes
gotten to that? When would Dirk have gotten to the
You never
Scottish
know. He
Highlands?
goes places.
I do confuse things I see to
Yeah.
commerce and advertisements
Yeah.
sometimes.
You see them visually.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Visually and vision. And so David Tennant, he's walking around the Highlands, and then he comes to a campfire that presumably he's built, and he sits down and he looks across the campfire, and who does he see? David Tennant. And there's two David Tennants, and they look at each other like, nice.
And then did they run into each other to make sure that one of them collapses under, because you can't have two David Tennants, it would ruin the space-time continuum? Or
Did they do the mirroring kind of thing or not?
or did they just
They
sit and
didn't do the
politely-
mirror thing. They just sort of looked at each other like, hey there,
What were
me
they selling?
/you. I think it was alcohol of some kind. I think it was like a whiskey or a scotch or
Nice.
maybe a car.
Whiskey or scotch or maybe a car. To be
Yeah.
fair,
It was
when
just
you,
a
lot
very
of those.
expensive looking advertisement, and usually those are alcohol, perfume, or cars.
those,
Yeah,
and to be fair, as soon as you make the location the Scottish Highlands, those are like you're very close when you start saying those three.
Mm.
Yeah, a scotch, like you're looking for a whiskey. Sometimes it's a perfume, but also it's more likely to be a car.
Even I think a lot of them are whiskeys. There's a Harrison Ford ad now that is just him in a kilt, and it's drink this whiskey.
He's gotten real direct
It's
as he's gotten older.
It's
He's
really
like,
simple.
don't mess around.
Yeah.
Just buy this.
You've got me for 7.5 minutes today.
But it's also really simple to sell like whiskey to Americans, because you just go, this is Scotch whiskey, want a drink? And they go, yes, established actor man who told me this. And it's simple, it's real simple. They don't need
Pour
it
it
to be
up.
like flashy and fancy. They're just like,
Nope.
it's from Scotland and it's good. And I have been in films. And they go, take my money now.
Who was that?
Anyway.
Who was that who said that? That was literally the script of the commercial.
Yeah.
Who said,
Take my money. Yeah, like
I've been in films.
Was
I've
that
been in
a
films.
Laurence Olivier one?
that was a Laurence Olivier
Yeah.
one. It was actually,
classic.
but it was remade with Robert De Niro. Like,
Mm.
oh no. 2 seconds. I need to go back through and
National
re-add in your-
Geographic Kids has betrayed
Oh,
Penny
no.
once again. This is what they do. They set you up with nice, fun, fancy quizzes, and then they pull the rug
The good
out
thing
from
is
under
I
you.
let's
remember all of your answers very easily. And it was
Classic
like,
Oh,
National
from the top.
Geographic
Okay,
Kids.
wait. While
Because you know me so well, Penny.
while Penny is doing that, how do you
Yes.
feel about these quizzes so far?
I'll be honest, I wanted to not like them when I found out they were National Geographic Kids. They're fun.
You seem like you're having a good time.
It's a
I
fun
just
quiz.
need your mode of travel.
Ah, right. Well, I'm a Driftwoodian after all.
So it's a boat.
Gotta go boat.
Gotta go with the boat.
Okay.
Gotta go boat.
Ooh, okay. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. You're Tecumseh? You are like Native American Chief Tecumseh. When you
let's
speak,
go.
people listen. Tecumseh, a member of the Shawnee tribe who lived in the Ohio Valley region during the late 1700s and early 1800s, is most famous for standing up to American settlers who were trying to take his tribe's land. A powerful speaker, he convinced other Native Americans to join him in his fight. You're also excellent at using your public speaking skills to persuade others to join you, whether it's at a local protest or to call for improvements at home or school. He was a peacemaker, urging tribes to work together to keep their land safe. You also tend to jump in to prevent disagreements in your friend group, and also know how important it is to get along with people outside of your social circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. That's
Checks
me.
out.
Right?
I definitely diffuse disagreements and do not instigate any myself.
Never.
I'm famously a peacemaker and a super chill guy. I resonate with Tecumseh.
I feel like
Indeed.
when you said super chill guy, I don't know if I believed you when you said it.
Why?
You felt as though it looked weird for the words to become. It was as if your body was rejecting the lie
Lie.
or the fiction, you know?
Books.
The book.
The
My
book,
body
yeah.
was rejecting the
See?
book.
Yeah.
Dirk gets it now. Dirk's on board.
I get it. I don't agree with it. The fact
Also,
that
I didn't think
books
you
are
agreed with
pranks.
it. That's why we moved past.
You think I agree with what?
No, you didn't agree with it. That's why we moved on.
I didn't agree with which
The
bit of
books
that.
being
The
lies.
theory
I
that
do
books
agree
are
with that.
lies.
It's not a theory, it's a fact.
We can't get
We
back
can't
into
go back to it. We wasted so much time trying to get that bit.
Very clear
we tried
about
so-
where I stand.
We
there.
wasted so much time trying to make that bit happen, and it was rejected.
It really wasn't. If
am
you go back
honored.
and listen to the tapes, there's a lot of agreement there. Just
There
trying
was-
to be specific about the agreement.
Yeah, but
am
like no exploring the fun of it.
Okay.
There really is just
All
trying
right.
to have a slightly different idea of what the fun is.
As the Tecumseh's like leader of this group,
There we go.
I will find a peace between the three of us and bring us all together to say, stay off our land, people.
I
That
don't
was
think
his
that
whole
was-
thing, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's your
We
thing.
need to come together to keep people off our land.
I think you've picked up
to
the
keep
wrong
Matthias
parts.
out of the studio
Oh,
and
no.
his paying the bills and all of the advertisers or bill collectors or whoever is going to take our land.
You've
We need to
picked up-
protect our land. No more bills. Bing, bang, bong.
I worry that you've picked up the wrong morals of the story. I worry that you've, like, you're inspirational, but like, we are going to have to pay these bills, you know?
But I am inspirational.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was an inspirational speech.
Well, then we can get the bill people in here and I can
You wanna
inspire
just
them
talk to them?
get the hell out
Oh,
of here.
no.
To stay off our land.
Oh, boy.
Our land being the studio.
I don't know how often they come here. We just need to.
Well, they're going to have to come here if they want to get some money out of us.
I think we can wire it.
No, but we're not going to, Bench. We're not going to pay the bills.
I mean, we don't. Matthias does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not paying any money.
No, we get paid by like the studio as well.
Where did you think the money was coming from?
I assumed this was sort of a sharing, like we're a community.
We're not a
we come
co-op.
in here and we're all sort of, we're on equal footing. We collaborate and combine each other's efforts and resources to create the beautiful art and the show that we put out every day. So I assumed we all paid the bills.
I mean,
We're employed
We're-
by this
yeah.
business.
we are like a team.
I don't
that
think
works
I understand
together,
how
but
commerce works.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Like,
Maybe
you're-
David Tennant gets it because he clearly
Which
understands.
David Tennant?
Oh,
You just broke my brain.
Yeah. Left David Tennant or right David Tennant? Which side of
Probably
David
the one
Tennant?
that
which
was
side of the country
already
of David Tennant?
the one that was already seated at the fire because he is probably like spirit David Tennant,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the one who's like walking around and stuff is like corporeal David Tennant, whereas the David Tennant that was already at the fire is the one that he found, which was himself and his
Do you
inner
know
self.
What are we
What my
talking about?
favorite part of this is?
I think commerce.
Do you know what my favorite part of this is? Your intense knowledge and analysis of an advert that you do not remember what the product was. Like you remember
It
this
left an
advert
impression
so well.
for no reason
Yeah.
related to the product
Like
itself.
you think about it and you're like, what a beautiful advert. But fundamentally, you have no idea what it was selling.
It was. I think I was so thrown by the second
Yeah.
David Tennant.
What if it was selling David Tennant? What if you could get your own spirit David Tennant? What if that was it the
if
whole
that
time?
is not a product, we need to contact David Tennant.
I don't think we have to unpack
To-
buying people on this episode right now.
We're not going to buy people. We're
No,
just
you're
going
going to have spirit
going to-
David Tennant
yeah.
that talks to you like an AI. Like you talk to Siri on your
Oh,
phone all the
okay.
time.
Yeah. Like I talk to the Pope and talk to him and he's my buddy. You could talk to like an Alexa who's
Yeah.
David Tennant. And he doesn't tell you like the weather and stuff. He just answers questions as David Tennant would.
But what if you ask him about the weather?
He would answer the weather wherever David Tennant is at that time.
Yeah, he wouldn't specify it to your location because
Yeah.
he doesn't know what that is. And it would literally just be at this campfire in the Highlands. It's
Yep.
fine just now.
A bit misty.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit misty and smells of burning of campfire.
Yeah.
If this is the product, I have notes, but we don't have to get into that.
We can work on the development with David, presumably. I assume he'll be on board.
Oh my God, he would immediately jump to be part of this.
Mhm.
Like, what else is he doing just now?
Wandering-
Acting and plays?
Wandering
Get
the
out of here.
highlands
Yeah.
and looking for himself, I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Like, here's something that could actually change lives.
Change lives. And that's what we're here to do.
I think this could be oh God, is this? Oh, I've just remembered.
What's that?
Because we've said it out loud on the radio, someone will have already started copywriting it.
The David Tennant, Spirit David Tennant.
This happens to us all the time.
We have, like,
say
a
our
guide.
business ideas out
Spirit
loud.
guide
We
David
have
Tennant.
like
Someone
a
jumps in.
we have like a 5-second delay. We can probably get in on it real
That's
quick.
true. Matthias, buy spiritdavidtennant.com.
Real quick.
It's taken
Too late. We missed it.
every time.
Every time.
Every single time. Guess we just have to work our radio station some more. Well, might as well cut to another batch of adverts while we're here. We'll be back
Good
soon.
Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.